right, let's go. Hey, happy day. Welcome to Two Plant-Based Brothers. I am William the teacher.
And I'm Daniel Nowotnik, Beard on the Trail.
Beard on the trail. Very good. And we're going to talk a little bit about a trail of some sorts today
Mhm.
on episode 7, if you can believe it. So,
Woohoo.
yeah. I don't know if you recognize my background.
I do.
Could you
I
tell
know
me where
nobody
it
else.
is?
Yeah, no
Where
one
do you
else
think that?
is responding, so I will.
Yeah,
That's Lake Cuyamaca,
yeah.
which is located in East San Diego County. On your way up to Julian, if you're familiar with Julian, a pie town, apple pies, famous for, I think mining too, maybe. And then like situated between Mount Cuyamaca and I want to say Mount Laguna.
Interesting. Wow, your geography is really something else, I tell you. I was just expecting you to say Lake Cuyamaca. But yeah, do you recall the elevation by any chance?
I say it's around 4,000, but I don't recall
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't recall.
It could be
I
lower
don't think
than
it
that.
affected me, but we are going to be talking about today is the event we took part in March. It was called Pirates Cove. So this one's about Pirates Cove 2025. It was you had your choice to do 6 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours. You could run, you could walk, whatever you wanted to do, however you wanted to push yourself. So this is something we alluded to in a previous episode, and something Daniel's been doing for a little bit. And
Hmm.
you know, he's talking about how we got started and different things like that. But this was the first one that we did together.
Right.
And our oldest brother actually took part too, and we really wanted him to be on the show today to be
We
a special guest, but schedules are hard, with adults and work and family, and he's got to go eat dinner. He's got to go to
Yep.
Costco.
Yep. What is
He's a
the swim spa?
I don't know about that one, but yeah.
It's in
So,
between after work and dinner.
oh, I don't know. I don't know. We don't even know if his camera works, so we'll see.
But I'll say this, our older brother, I think, is be much happier if he's watching right now than actually being on. So I think he's in a good
Yeah,
spot.
but still, the challenge is out there. Older brother, come on, come join us for once, just one time. I told him, I said, just do one time, and we'll never bother you again. The people
Then it
want
was
to see,
maybe.
they want to know who this guy is, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's get into it. This was, I'm going to say August 2024, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you were doing the
Mhm.
South Bay 24
Yeah, I
hours,
want to
right?
say it was. I want to say it was August, maybe September, but I think it was August.
Yeah. And you sent me a text or called me and said, "Hey, do you want to come down and be a pacer?"
Yep.
And I had no idea what you're talking about. I know that you had competed in these events before, and I thought, yeah, sure, why not? So I went down there probably around 5 a.m. It was still dark.
Hmm.
I couldn't find you. I had to call you, and then I went checked in, and I got a bib that said pacer on it, and did
Do
the
you
last
remember
few.
what you thought it said?
I was hoping it didn't say racer.
Yeah.
It said you got the wrong guy. But yeah, I really didn't know what I was getting into, and immediate, not quite immediately, but almost immediately, I felt the camaraderie of the people
Mhm.
on the course, and
Yeah.
I felt a little bit of stolen valor when people would say "good job" or something to me, and I'm just like, no, just the pacer, this guy, he's doing it, you know. And so at that point, let's just say it was 5 or 6 a.m., you had been out there for almost, for 20 hours, maybe
Right.
21, 22 hours at that point. And just from my perspective, you were beat up, man.
Yeah. I was trashed, and I think I might have taken maybe a 20-minute break was like my longest break. My first 24 race, I like slept and fell asleep. This one, like I didn't. And so like, yeah, it was brutal, and my legs were trashed. I was at a very slow walking pace at that point with my hiking poles. Mind you, it wasn't that like up and down hills. There were a couple, but I didn't need the poles necessarily, but I did need them to keep up my own body because I was just torn to pieces.
Yeah, and it was just a really cool experience for me to to see you continue to push at that point,
Hmm.
and you can see it's just total exhaustion. And here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's normal for me to be up that early in the morning anyway. And I
Yeah.
had my coffee and was ready to go and was feeling the excitement and say, come on, let's go, let's go.
And
And
that truly helped me get through my goal, which my minimum goal was to hit 100K, 62 miles. Without your help, like I probably would have come short of it, or I would have been crawling at some point. So that motivation, just having somebody with you, is super important. I appreciated it.
yeah, no, I was very happy to do it. And it definitely sparked something in me, for, someone who's, walked a lot, um, you know, doing that for that amount of time was just no way possible. But you see people, and you see people just continuing to keep going,
Mm,
and some a lot, really just ultra fit, I guess you could say. It's unbelievable that you got people out there doing 100 miles, and I know
right.
that's your goal.
Yep.
And that to me was just astounding to watch this and to be a part of it. And so, after that, I'm like, okay, I think this is something we want to do. And I don't know if I looked into it or you looked into it, if I sent the first
You
screenshot or
did.
not.
You totally did. And I was super shocked. Like I never anticipated you like saying, "Oh, I want to do something like this." And so I was shocked, and I was also very giddy. I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Let's go." I was like, "We'll do it." I think you said the screenshot, you must have done some research on whatever ultrasignup.com
Yeah,
of some races, and you found Pirates Cove.
yeah, Pirates Cove, located in Lake Cuyamaca, and I just thought it was going to be a great experience. And my goal going into it, what I had said was 50 kilometers. Right? If
Hmm.
you're going to do 100, you did 100, I'll do half of that, right? Because
Hmm.
you're running most of the time, and I would strictly walk. And I do measure my walks in kilometers, just because
Hmm.
on Instagram, a lot of my followers are from all over the world. My name is William the Teacher for a reason. I have lots of students all over the world, and just put the kilometers. Plus, it makes it look like I go further. Um, you know but to me, a good day would be a decent day is around 20 kilometers, right?
Hmm.
And and I started thinking, like, I'm starting pushing myself even further on these walks and going and seeing how far I could go. And I said, well, I could rest. I got plenty of time to rest, because
Yeah.
normally I do the 20 kilometers. I usually probably about six. um you know no, 6 miles is usually about the time I sit down or something, take a little
Hmm.
break, rehydrate, and then get back to it. But you know, it was uh, it was something I really wanted to do, so we signed up. And
Yeah.
how did you prepare for this?
Honestly, I didn't. It was really weird.
We had this plan, and I remember you had a notebook,
I
and
had
you're gonna,
it's on the back of one of our doors. I still have it written out of
yeah,
this plan, and I started in, was it November or December? And I was like, okay, ramp up, because my first ultras I had trained quite a bit, and I guess I still had running legs, but at the same time, like I had all this plan, and then wife and I are opening up a coffee shop. A lot of stress at that time, with that going on, that I didn't have the time to actually train for it. So I tried to walk a lot. I was kind of like, well, at least I can be on my feet. So I think at minimum, I was like, okay, if I can hit 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 steps a day, at least my feet are going to be in better shape than anything. So I didn't. I know you did, though, quite a bit, and you started ramping up the miles or
yeah, I
kilometers.
definitely did. And going into it, it might have been just a couple weeks or so before, whenever the grand opening of the coffee shop was. Is
Yeah.
the coffee shop a sponsor? Because I don't want to mention their name if they don't
Oh, yeah,
sponsor the show.
go right ahead, but we
Yeah,
are a
actually, this
non.
episode brought to you by Casa de Otay. Check it out. It's in the Millennia neighborhood in Otay Ranch.
Do
Is that
we have
good?
to
Good
pay for?
plug?
Do we have to pay for that?
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I full disclosure, I'm part owner, so I'm an investor.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. You could add an extra cent to it. But anyway, yeah, you were having the grand opening. So I've done this several times, to walk from La Mesa down to Otay, right?
Hmm.
And I've gone a few different ways to cross things off. But after I sat around and drank some delicious coffee at Casa de Otay, I got back up and I made it almost down to the border from there
Nice.
and down to San Ysidro, past San Ysidro High School. And I believe I ended at Bayer Boulevard because that was like one of the trolley stops that I hadn't either gotten on the trolley or off the trolley,
Hmm.
and my feet were just destroyed.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing it was a marathon by the time I got home. I sent you the screenshot of it,
Yeah.
and my feet were killing. And I go, this is a good warm up. It's like, now can I rest again and do this all over again?
Hmm.
And that's the question. And I felt I could. It's a long trolley ride from Bear Boulevard to Grossmont Station. You have to take the blue line to either the orange line or the green line. You know, and my I felt good walking back up the hill to my house, and I said, I think I can do this.
Hmm.
You know, and I think I pushed this out, and then of course you being you said, forget the 50K,
Yeah.
you're going for 50 miles.
That's
And
right.
I just didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, yeah. But in my mind, I was thinking, I think I could do 50 miles. I think I
Right.
could,
And
you know?
for people who don't like the math, right? So what is 50K is like 33 or no, 31 miles, right?
Yeah,
And then 50 miles, so a difference of what, 17?
yeah.
We got
But
that.
but if you look at that, proportionally, that's quite a jump,
It is, but
And
you have more time on your side, and that's what you
yeah,
were thinking, right? With rest, I could do
yeah.
it.
And that's the great thing. So we get out there, we sign up, we do some preparations, we get out there the night before, the afternoon before, we walk the course. And one of my first feelings, I don't know about you, was um, I don't like this hill.
Yeah, right. It was like this, like steep hill. And I remember us reading it in advance and maybe
Yeah,
texting back and forth and say, hey, there's a hill
yeah,
on this course.
yeah.
And then I
Because they
tried to
made
put it
sure
out
to
of my
say that
mind immediately.
yeah, you couldn't use your walking poles to go up the hill and then leave them at the bottom of the hill.
Right,
You had to
right.
carry them the whole time. But it was just like, yeah, but it is what it is. It was 2 mile loop, right?
Hmm.
And it was beautiful, really gorgeous, and we got to prepare for it. And thank goodness we got you got a cabin for us.
Yeah,
And
that was the
so
best part about Pirates Cove
yeah,
course is that they have these little cabins on the course next to there's a campground there on the course. And that was game changer really for me, I know, because it was also very cold. This is March, early March, and at elevation. So it was pretty chilly and brisk, especially when the sun went down. It was very much blue skies during the day, like your picture,
yeah,
because that is a picture from from the race.
yeah,
And then at night, once that sun went down, it got pretty cold. So having that cabin on the loop, like every time either we got close to the finish line or just started it, we could go in, get our supplies if we need to, rest if we wanted to.
yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, what I would always do is I'd cross past the check, the I don't say finish line, but yeah,
Hmm.
check, and then I would go around the corner and then down and then come up to the cabin, which was not that far. But it did add some extra steps.
I was gonna say you probably added because remember I sent you how much elevation did I do? Did I tell you? Was it
You
4,000
at
feet?
4,000,
I think
I should have written it
so.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, so elevation up and down up so gain and whatever the opposite of gain.
Yeah.
It was about 4,000 feet with that basically hill, but because you
Yeah.
kept going up and down to the cabin, you probably
Yeah.
added at least 500 feet.
Who knows? But I didn't do as many miles as you did. But we kept going. Our oldest brother signed up for the 12 hour, and
Mhm.
he gave it a solid shot. I think
Yeah.
his preparation was, I think, walking to Taco Bell. Don't quote me on that, but I think that maybe
Now, if he was
uh,
walking to Del Taco and Barstow, that would be some
yeah.
training.
But he ended up just short of a marathon, I believe.
One lap short, I believe. Yeah, one
So
lap
he
short.
did
I think he did
24
24
miles.
miles. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and probably in the grand scheme of things with breaks and stepping aside, like he probably
Mhm.
came pretty close to that marathon in
Yeah,
totality of steps. But on paper, or in this case, according to the record books online, it was 24 miles.
yeah. But he did a great job. And
Good.
one thing that I can say about this experience was something that I kind of banked on was when I walk, I'm carrying a pretty heavy pack. I'm
Hmm.
bringing, change of clothes. I'm bringing lots of fluids, water, coffee, whatever, snacks, and it's all on my back. I
Hmm.
I think one time I walked down to your son's baseball game, and you
Hmm.
picked it up and said, "What do you got in here?"
Bricks.
And that was after I had already consumed most of the water, right?
Yeah.
So you know it was the thing, and because we had the cabin with the supplies there, I freed
Mhm.
myself of that,
Yeah.
and it was freeing to walk without this heavy pack on.
Right.
And I'm very accustomed to walking on sidewalks or
Hmm.
things like that. Being on a dirt path was a little bit different. There were some rocks in
Hmm.
the way,
Right.
which made the footing. There were a couple times where I could have easily turned an ankle, especially at night.
Hmm.
But you just keep going, and I think if anyone chooses to do this, really do it with someone else, because I went to take a nap in the middle of the night, and then I heard you getting up, and it's like he's back out there. It's
I
like
think that happened to me too.
I
Like
got to get
you
back out there.
you started sitting up, and I'm like, oh, I have to get out there. I have to get
Yeah.
back out there because I think I took like a maybe a 10-minute or 20-minute rest at the max, but I put my feet up on a chair just to get like the blood
Yeah.
blood flow in the opposite direction, right?
Gosh.
And I didn't know how long I was going to stay there because I knew I had time. I was definitely
Mhm.
feeling tired, but once you got up, it got me motivated to get up. I'm like, yes, let's get that. No, I agree. Doing it with somebody, even if you're not walking it or running it
Yeah.
together, you're
Yeah.
still passing by each other. You're high-fiving, you're
Hmm.
cheering the other person on. And similar to what you were saying about the San Diego 24 is, the camaraderie at Pirates Cove was equally as great. Just the people who are volunteering.
Yeah.
I think the race director did an exceptional job of having
Yeah.
enough supplies and everything and just being good motivation for folks. And that's the fun part. Like those physical, dudes and ladies who are like passing us, they're still cheering us on too, right? And it
Hmm.
doesn't feel, and it feels authentic. It's like, no, they really are rooting for us. Like
Yeah.
everybody's rooting together. And that's the fun part about these.
And one of my biggest concerns was being seen as a tourist,
Mm, yeah.
because I'm out there with ultra marathoners and serious, trail runners. I mean, people take it serious, and I'm just a walker. And being out there and just having those people. I mean, we had a neighbor, the cabin, and she was very nice and everything
Hmm.
else. And you see her out there, and she's like, "Keep going," or keep it up,
Hmm.
keep up the good work." And just strangers. And like, what do I tell them? It's like, good job, because
You do, yeah,
I
no,
do. And it's just like,
same to you, because we're
yeah,
all trying to achieve something different, but the same,
yeah,
right? We're all trying to achieve a goal, whatever is in our mind, right?
yeah,
And there was plenty of people who were probably more physically fit than us that had to bow out earlier than
yeah,
us
yeah.
because the
Everyone was
injury,
more physically
fatigue.
fit than me, but
Hey,
there's something I think that you have to have. There's fitness, right? But there's also
yeah,
the ability to set aside pain, to push aside pain, to keep
hmm,
going,
yeah,
and doing it. But at the same time, you got to be a little lucky. Like there are many times when I could have turned an ankle,
right,
right? Where I could have fallen down the
yeah,
descent, and you keep going, and there's some luck involved, and there's
hmm,
persistence, and there's that mental fortitude to say, listen, I'm going to keep doing it. And as I cleared, 50K fairly easily, and I knew I was going for that 50 miles,
yeah,
and the sun's coming up, and time is no longer like on your side anymore, because
hmm.
now you're not doing. I was doing 4 minute miles, for the beginning part, right? And now I'm
4 minute miles.
4 minute miles. No, 4 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I'll
Thank
make
you for
sure.
talk about stolen valor. I'm out here trying to say like a world class marathoner. Thank you for that correction. I hope
You're welcome.
people kept walking. I mean, kept watching after I said that, and so they
And
didn't
they
go.
turned it off once they heard
They
it. They're like,
they
"Oh,
turned
this
it
is
off. This
BS."
guy's full of it. No,
Yeah.
4 miles an hour, 15
Right.
minute miles,
Right.
and then at the end there, you're lucky to do 1 mile an hour. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, you're just grinding it out, and just doing the best you can, and just put one foot in front of the other. But
Hmm.
there were the last few. It's just like when I was going up that darn hill, at some point I didn't know if I was going to fall backwards and
Yeah.
and and eat it. It's just like just
Right.
keep pushing, but having to take breaks. When I started, I was like pushing, almost running up that hill because I
Hmm.
wanted to get it over with. That was my strategy, just
Right.
push it. And the legs just wouldn't do that at towards the end.
And
So
then what time did you finish? Do you remember?
I don't. I think I still had an hour,
Yeah, I want
but
to say
I
that. Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to make another 2 mile loop in an hour.
Yeah.
And plus, I reached 50, and so that was it.
I
Done.
think for my next one, because I also finished a little shorter too, like maybe 2 hours. Like it could have been an hour before you, and I hit that 100K, and I
Mhm.
was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna go see if I can sleep for a half hour, and then I wanted to wake up to see you finish. And
Yeah.
then, but I think next time I want to make sure I go for the entire time, even if it's like to get that extra mile or two. I think that's where we really push, like you said, the mentality and like that willpower, because it is 90% mental,
Mhm.
10% physical.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was Pirates Cove 2025. Daniel hit 100K and I
Ooh.
hit 50 miles. So, goals accomplished, hashtag goals. And, just really wanted to get this episode out and done because we are going to do this again. And,
Yep.
new goals. I want to do a double marathon. So that's just going to add,
Nice.
a couple more. But the next one will be in Hemet, California. It'll be,
Yep.
from what I've seen, very flat
Yes.
and 1 mile loops. So that does give you that option to go get one more, you know,
Hmm.
and
It's
instead
like it's
because
only a mile. Yeah.
yeah, it's only one mile. I mean that was the hardest part about I think about with Pirates Cove being the 2 mile loop.
Hmm.
There's no credit for half a loop,
No.
right? And so and then you go that darn hill again and you don't know and it's just like that would just suck to get out there and
Right.
then just come do like 90% of a loop and then come back. Time's up. It doesn't count.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my goal for it, because of my recovery, just realistic, is to do a marathon. If I can do a marathon, walk, jog, I'll feel really, really good about that. I'd love to surprise myself and do longer, but
Yeah.
at minimum, hit a marathon, I think is achievable.
Well, good. I mean,
Don't
it's a
push
great goal
yourself.
to have. And, the thing that's going to be different about the next one is that your uvula won't be touching your tongue.
Nope. I'm gonna have better breathing, maybe.
So that's still amazing. If you didn't see episode 4, please go back and watch episode 4.
Yeah.
We did allude to this race, and Daniel talked about the uvula touching his tongue and having a difficult time breathing, and he still did 100K.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to doing this again, and who knows how many times we'll do this. But I'm
Yep.
excited. It's coming up around Thanksgiving weekend,
Yep.
it is Thanksgiving weekend. It's not around, and so if anyone out there is watching, it's a good time to push yourself. And some people say, well, I can
Mhm.
do that around my block, but you can't. I mean, that is one thing I kind of did is I made a 2 mile loop around my block, and I went
Mhm.
around it 12 times. In
Mhm.
preparation of doing, going in circles. And I think that's the one thing that I might have to do again before we go is just
And 1 mile is going to be mentally even harder because you're going to be seeing the same tree, the same
same
bush, the
stuff.
same rock, right?
Yeah.
That's hard, hard. It's like
It
insanity,
is
right?
that is hard, especially for the reason why I like to go on long walks is to see more and see more and see more and see more
Same.
and something different and just to go around I can't imagine just going around the people who run around tracks.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse, right? That's a quarter mile. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. But anyway, that's what we got for you today, guys. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Appreciate it. And we do really appreciate everyone who's left a comment so far. It's meant a lot. And if you can continue to do that, that's great. Of course, like and subscribe, but
Jeez.
leave a comment.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good one.
Peace.